এন্টার তো করলাম, আসলো না কেন? So we are having a lot of attendees. That's good.
Are we live?
Yes, we are live.
Okay.
All right. Right. So so shall we start? Sorry. Hello. Okay. So let me try to share it on Facebook. Uh, So I think we are live on brand practitioners as well. Right. So I think we can start, right? Yashway, Nainesh? I'm
Yeah,
good.
yeah, I'm good.
So yes, good evening, everyone. We hope everyone is staying safe and healthy during this unprecedented time. I'm Juan Rahman, CRO at Play Technology. The responsibility of moderating this webinar actually lied upon me, and this is my very first time using Zoom webinar. So I'm sure I'll be doing some fumble. Please excuse me considering it's my first time. Our topic of the webinar is high performance campaign with rich media and CMP platform. It's a 1 hour webinar discussion. Our panelists will be discussing what is rich media creatives and how they are actually helping brands drive successful campaigns. We'll be discussing the importance of creatives in digital media campaigns, how the creative development process is changing in digital media, what is CMP and why brands need to use a CMP, the power of data in the creative development process, why the leading publishers leaning towards more rich media and rich media ad formats. We'll be actually trying to share some case studies and success stories. We'll also try to address loading issue of rich media creatives as it has been always a major concern to advertisers. In the panelist pool, we are actually honored to have Mr. Kaimun Amin, Managing Director at Play Technology. He'll be actually delivering the welcome note. We have in our panel Mr. Nainesh Pujari, Customer Success Director, APEC Saltra. Mr. Nainesh actually has decades of experience in digital advertising, working with global publishers and leading ad tech platforms. Nainesh will discuss about CMP, its functionality, ways of effectively run rich media campaigns, and some success stories. Our next panelist doesn't need actually much of an introduction. Mr. Javed Sultan Pias, Head of Digital Business, Prothom Alu. He will be actually discussing how important is rich media data-driven campaigns for publishers to deliver the right customer engagement in performance to advertisers. I'll also try to demonstrate how to drive innovation with rich media and showcasing some of the innovations. I'd like to thank everyone for joining. Would like to inform during this webinar we are actually taking questions. Please introduce yourself and share your questions using the chat option. We'll try to address all of your queries. At this point, I would like to request Mr. Kaimun Amin to take over and deliver the welcome note.
Thank you. Welcome everyone. Very happy to be here. Very happy to be with us. I would like to thank our esteemed panelists, Nainesh and Piyash Bhai, for taking the time to join us today. Thank you very much. As Owen mentioned, the topic today is high performance campaign with rich media and CMP platform. Yeah, I know that there has been a lot of webinars regarding digital marketing and so forth, but I think everyone likes talking about creatives, and probably this is the first one regarding rich media and CMP. Making everybody wants to make a cool creative. I think probably that's the first thing a brand or an agency is thinking about when they're planning a campaign, whether it is for traditional media or digital media. Everybody wants to make cool creatives. Iconic brands like Coke, Nike, Volkswagen, everyone knows about their amazing campaigns with those creatives which will never die. But they started in print, continued in TV, but and to this day it's continuing in digital. So everyone knows a digital campaign will most certainly fail without the right creative. In digital, brands are already using platforms for media buying, planning, and analytics. But what about CMP? So what we're seeing is recently a lot of brands, especially all the world's leading brands, they're also using creative management platform to make that pixel perfect creative for their digital campaigns. Because a good brand wants to also have a distinct identity and maintain a certain quality of creatives in digital. But creative challenges remain in our industry. I'm talking about the Bangladesh digital industry. We're still seeing that when it comes to creative development, a lot of them are not following a digital first approach. Poor creative quality is an issue, wrong creative optimization and efficiency. Some of the challenges we think the brands and agencies face when making creative without the right tools. We ran our first rich media campaign in early 2017, if I remember correctly. And very soon after we ran one or two campaigns, we realized how inefficient and complex it was to make a rich media ad or a creative and serve it properly without using a CMP. So then we started looking for partners with whom we could tie up and offer the right platform for the market. And we happy to say that we partnered with the right company. They have the Celtra, they have the market leading platform for creative management platform. And this is the third year of our partnership with fast growing in the market. I'm seeing a lot more rich media campaigns this year, even during the COVID time, than I did last year. So that tells me because it drives engagement, but also because probably the ROI is making sense. And of course, I mean, everybody sort of gets bored of static banners. So since we are now on the train and we are doing more and more rich media creatives, I think it's a timely discussion to have where we can discuss are we taking the full advantage of how to run a rich media campaigns using creative management platforms and so forth. So that was the whole objective of organizing a seminar or a webinar on this topic. And without much further ado, I will hand over to the expert in the room regarding CMPs and all that. Nainesh, it's all yours.
Thanks, Kevin. Wonderful welcome note, and thanks for setting up the stage. I'm going to share my screen. Just let me know when you can see it.
Yeah, we can see.
Okay. All good now?
Yes.
Cool, fantastic. So guys, thank you very much for having me here. It's an honor to be here with you guys talking about Celtra and specifically CMP and rich media creatives. So today, the agenda for today would be talking about static versus rich media creative. I'll talk a bit on Celtra and the creative management platform that we have. I'll touch on the products and different formats that we offer. And finally, we'll go on to talking something about dynamic creative and few case studies around it. Before we go on to static versus rich media, I would really like to talk about the creatives itself. Why creative is important. I've been in the industry for the last 10 years now, and it's problematic. Targeting the audience at the right time, at the right moment, with the right message. But imagine you are targeting the right audience at the right time with a very ugly creative. So that's what exactly is happening in today's world, is that you're reaching the right audience at the right time, but look at the quality of your retargeting ads. So if you go out to talk about to any performance marketers, it's all about getting performance metric and not talking about the unique brand voice or trying to tell a story of a brand, which I believe which any other premium brand would not like themselves, coming to a customer like this. So that's why creative is the essence of digital advertising, and it's the most important aspect of it. But sadly, the industry has taken over by data and programmatic and all the stuff around it. and we are losing our hold on the creative itself. And that's why we at Celtra has taken the ownership of getting back the essence of digital advertising and concentrating more on the creative, because that's where in the first interaction between your audience happens is through your media ads. Let's talk about static ads, and this is something that I was researching myself, and this is an example of airline ad, and you see that both the advertisers are trying to do um, destination London maybe, but if you look at the ad, they look exactly the same. If I just switch the logo from both the brands from the static ads, it won't make much of difference because you will never come to know which brand is advertising exactly. If I remove the logo or if I switch the logo, it's exactly the same. This is basically because ads have become too much templatized. It is the same thing, like you have a headline, you have a call to action, and you have a background image, which is used by a lot of advertisers at the same time. So here what happens is that the unique brand voice is lost with the static ads. I can share some more examples like this destination ads or the travel ads. It's exactly the same. If you remove the logo, there's not no much difference in the creative. Look at the generic ad from two of the airlines. And one good example is the food delivery apps these days. If you look at that, look at the creative, if you just switch the logo of the company, you will never be able to come to know which company is actually advertising. It's exactly the same. It's just basic food images, a headline. There's nothing much difference. So that's what happens with the static creative, where you are limited to tell more about your brand. You are limited to talk about the uniqueness of your brand, or I would say you are not able to make much impact with the static creative. So Let's take an example of rich media ad. What does happen? This is one of our rich media ad from our clients. It's Boca. It's a tea brand. You see, this allows the user to interact with the banner. For example, user can make their own tea. They can drag the tea and put the water in the cup or drag the tea bags. So this allows some kind of engagement with the creative, and we all know that when the audience is interested in interacting with the ad, they can be a potential customer into the future. The next example is the Tropicana, where you have a timeline animation. You can see that orange going from right to left. There's some animation, there's a flippy component that is used. So this kind of components really make an impact with the audience, and audience tend to remember more. Furthermore, this is a national gallery example from Singapore, where the user has to drag and drop pictures from their phone to the canvas. So this kind of interactions help the users to remember the brand more, and that's what we're talking about, making the brand impact. Another example is the interesting ad from Diff is a 360-degree view, where the user is able to interact with the ad and see the actual house that he's gonna buy or rent. So this allows the user to get a first-hand view of what he is buying. So the more interaction means that there's more inclination for the customer to buy the product. Another ad from HSBC, where you will see that there's a countdown component in terms of in terms of an event. There's an option to play the game also, and at the end of the creative, there's also a save to calendar option for them to remember about the event, as well as there's also a countdown feature in terms of when the game would start. Similar example with the hot link, where the user gets an opportunity to swipe. So with this all example, you'll notice that there's an opportunity for the user to interact with the ad. This is one example of a toothpaste, where if you're advertising for toothpaste, for example, you can have the simple game of user wiping on the teeth. This helps make an impact with the user. So overall, what does rich media help? Rich media just allows the user to interact with the ad rather than looking at just a static ad for 1 or 2 seconds. This allows more engagement with the creative. And when you have more engagement with the creative, you have a long-lasting impact of the brand. And this all touch point, this all engagement that happens in the creative can be tracked in the platform, which helps us create the audience pool of more customers who are more inclined to buy your product, I can say. Yeah, so that's what rich media offers. You saw two drastic difference here in terms of static creative and rich media creatives. And now we know that why advertisers are willing to do more rich media creatives, because that allows them to go beyond a templatized static ads and tell their own story and create their own impact. Talking about the Celtra, we are a creative management platform. We are a cloud-based platform. It's not a software that you download in the system, but it's all on the cloud. And we are all about scaling the digital advertising production and delivery. Remember, we are talking about creating fantastic rich media creative, but we're also talking about scaling it, because in today's world, we have a lot of audience that we need to target, and we are trying to move away from the manual creative production process and scale the creative production so that we create creatives for different set of the audience. We are a global company, and we are all across the globe, and we service all the APAC partners from Singapore. We have a small setup in Singapore, but we have members from each of the teams, I would say, to service our clients here in APAC. We work with 400 plus enterprise customers, and it's a combination of all the different kind of clients, like brands like Unilever and P&Gs, publishers like MediaCorp, e-commerce like Lazada, as well as we have worked with a lot of tech partners. And I'm proud to say that actually is one of our partners in Bangladesh for Celtra. Talking about the platform, it's a cloud-based platform where you can, in terms of the management, you can create different campaigns, different users and permissions, just like any other ad server does. On the production side, you can import all the Photoshop creatives, like what you did do on the static creatives. You can import all those materials into Celtra directly and build a creative which is more engaging and which is called a rich media creative basically. You can also deliver all the creatives from the platform itself, meaning that you can pull the tags from the system and implement it into different channels. For example, if you're working with multiple DSPs, you can pull the tags for different DSPs and run your ads through the Celtra platform. And finally, the most important thing is the reporting and analytics, which is available on the Celtra platform. Our partners tend to rely on Celtra reporting a lot because all of the engagement metrics are available in the platform. Imagine you have a gamified app, like a user has to play a game on the creative and they have to reach different levels. All these touch points of the game are actually tracked by the system, and at the end of the campaign you can pull a report where you can say, okay, how many number of users actually passed level 1, how many of them passed 2, or how many of them passed 3, how many did click through, how many did actually convert. So all this information will be available from the Celtra platform, and after for certain time you'll be able to save, as is the creative management platform, you'll be saving all your campaigns, all your creatives, and you'll be developing a learning channel rules the best for you to allow you to modify your creatives based on all your learnings. I'll quickly run you through the creative formats that we offer. We call this as a universal banner. This is the first format. We call it universal because looks like a standard ad, but actually it's one ad can be converted into 3 different formats or 3 different devices. You can see that one universal banner can be run into desktop, tablet, as well as mobile environment. This is basically reducing the time for production. The creative team doesn't need to spend doing the same creative for 3 different devices, as well as the media team should not handle 3 different tags. So we are eventually actually reducing the production time by 2/3, and as well as staff cooking time also. The same banner ad can be also done with the expandable ad also. With the same 3 devices, we can do the expandable creative also. Interstitial format is also available, which is largely used in Bangladesh, I believe. And interscroll, this is our proprietary format, and this kind of sticks inside the page and gives a very uh, native, I would say, user experience. And this all can be done on rich media. Along with interscroller, we also have a mini scroller, um, which is like a mini version of the interscroller, again a rich media format. We also have a reveal format which actually expands and shrinks to a smaller creative also. It sticks to the top or the bottom. You can choose where you want to stick it. It opens up to a half page expandable, as well as you can open to a full page also. And you can have basic other components like the location, etc. Everything on this creative. We also do a lot of videos in stream as well as outstream videos. In stream is the pre-roll videos, and outstream, which is more of on the rich media creative itself. We do have vast creatives like a standard pre-roll plus companion creative. Plus, one of the greatest feature of Cellular CMP is the interactive video, where you get an option to create a rich media video, allowing you to have a look at the video, pause the video, and also look at different products. Just like you see in this example, it allows the user to pause the video and look at more information about the creatives. Um, uh, so this is more of an interactive version of the video that we have available only in the we paid format. We also have the 360-degree video, as if we have the assets for that, we can also run these campaigns where you get a more panoramic view of the view of the stage, I would say. Shoppable video, this is heavily done in this recent time during the COVID period, where we have a video with add the product to save it to your cart or buy it later. So there's an API integration between the ad and your e-commerce channel so that you can save the product directly in the cart. This has been heavily used in last 6 months because of the COVID situation, and when people are moving towards e-commerce more. There's different kind of gamified ad also that we offer, where user gets an opportunity to look at the product in a 360-degree view and also look at the product from different angles, as well as do more interactions like change the color or interact with the store locator. For example, in this example, you can change the color of the car and see how it looks really. As well as this is about cars, so you can also add a location feature where you can check where the nearest store is for to look at this car. Branch narrative is another creative where you have you can set the stage. If it's about vacation, you can ask the user, is it city or nature? And if they click on nature, it goes to a different set of content where it's all about nature advertising. If I would have chosen city, then you would have get, so this is another option of beach or forest. It gives an option to the user to choose what they want. Based on that, the creative actually changes automatically. Talking about the components of the components of Celtra platform, we have everything from all the visual effects, motion graphics. We can also have location and nearby component. We can do A/B testing. We can do inline video, 360 video, drag, basket, puzzle, and any kind of gamified version of the ad. We can do it, and we can do it on scale actually. And light, this is one of the key feature or product that I would say is very important for Bangladesh. I would say this is like a light or the fast loading creative that we have launched for the markets where where the internet connectivity can be difficult at times and the loading can be the issue. So this is available again for the rich media creative, not a static. So this is the fast loading rich media creative product that we have launched, where we have seen that the loading times actually increased by around 20%. And we also have some use cases from Indonesia and India also, where we have increased the load rate from 10 to 20% in both these markets.
No, 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 it's fine. Fine. Generally, I'll tell you.
Moving on to DCO. which is the dynamic creative optimization. The agenda here is to improve the creative performance. When we talk about dynamic creative, it is more relevant to the user and it's all used by using the audience data. This can be done by first-party data or third-party data. You can leverage those data and activate in the sensor platform. Why this is important? Because for Centra, this is completely different because we have been in the industry for 10 years now, and we have seen that the channels that we work have always been increasing. There are always new ad tech platforms coming up, there's always new technologies coming up, and it's gonna always increase. So the content requirement has always been increasing in last 10 years, and in future it will increase too. But if you look at the production budget, if you look at the creative, it has always been stable. There is no increase in the production budget, which means that our marketers are not really concentrating on the creative side of the business. We know that we need more creative, we need more content, but if you look at the production budget or the time given to the creative agents to think about creative stuff is always limited. So Celtra is trying to solve that problem. This is what we call as a content gap, and this is what we want to help. Because there's less budget, because there's less time, we have to bring in automation. We can't create 50 different creatives for different 50 different audiences. We have to automate things because we are short of time and budget. This is where DCO definition really changes for from the Centra perspective, where we say that it's a data-driven creative design, as well as we want to bring in scale also with that, which means that we want to create a mass production of creative for different audience. We continue to give a unique brand voice to the rich media creatives, and we would like to create an engaging and delightful creative for our audience. Here, I would like to quickly show you a quick video. It's a 1 minute video, and I'll keep on talking with the creative. So this is how I would like to show we achieve a dynamic creative on the Celtra platform.
Uh, Hi, Dinesh. I would like to actually interrupt a bit. So we are getting some questions.
Yeah.
I'd like to shoot. Naim Hussain, he is actually saying, is there any company from Bangladesh currently using Saltra platform? Share some examples. That's question number one.
Yeah, we are doing a lot of rich media creatives through AdPlay, and AdPlay is using Celtra platform, and we are churning out a lot of rich media creatives in terms of static display panel as well as videos. We would be happy to share with you guys.
I think he was actually addressing that Steltra platform. So I think except us currently, no other company is actually using Steltra platform, right?
Yeah, so there are a couple of brands where we have some global partnership with the brands like Unilever and P&G, but those are kind of a global relationship that we have. But AdPlay is our primary partner there.
Right. And there is a second question is, our rich media ads are applicable for all levels, age or types of customers? or it is some same rich media ad of a certain organization is same way applicable or get a same success for all level of age and types of customers? That's the question from Mr. Sadat Mamun.
Oh,
I would
that's a
appreciate if you can actually give a short brief about yourself, your company, and yourself. Then it would be easier to identify. So that question is not really clear to me as well. But like, are rich media ads are applicable for all levels of age and types of customers? Yes,
yeah.
maybe I can actually answer the question. Yes, it is. It is applicable for all levels, age and types of customers. And Nimesh is currently actually explaining more about DCO. I think that's more applicable. So the dynamic creative works as the creatives are actually very precisely targeted to the right audiences.
Yes, to answer the question, it's rich media creative. You can target to any kind of audience as well as age, whether it works on what kind of levels of engagement that you get from different audiences or different age groups. It's something for the marketers to run and run for few weeks and check what kind of engagements that you get. But I do know about the kids environment where previously I used to work with a kid tech company, and the kids tend to engage with the ads a lot, and they like verified ads, and there you get more and more engagement.
Right, right. And there is a final question yet. That's how small or medium-sized brands can get benefit from this platform.
Um, So if you are interested in using the platform, please let me know what you would like to do and what kind of creative that you would like to produce. At the end of this presentation, I will share my email and all my contact details. Please feel free to email us as along with Ashley, and we will definitely be helpful for to create a rich media creative through Zeltra. So we would like to understand the brief before we wanna propose anything for anything to you.
Right.
Any other question?
Yes, there is one more. I actually liked the question as well. That's, I think, Naim Bhai is from BSRM. So what should be the targeting strategy for manufacturing companies like BSRM to reach out to TG by using rich media creative? So let me add, BSRM is one of the leading uh, uh, building materials company. They manufacture rods, steel bars. So the question is from Naim Hussain.
Yeah, it's a good brand, I would say, or a category to go into rich media, because you won't be doing a mass targeting for this kind of ads, and you will definitely have a peculiar data or a fantastic first party or third party data to make sure that the people you are selling this to are specific people in the market. You just can't go general marketing for this kind of product. You can leverage definitely rich media because rich media allows you to, and this is all related to civil and construction and everything. So I believe that this is more of a visual ad where you can definitely use the rich media creative, where you can show the potential of your product through a engaging ad in the creative, like constructing something, a stack or something like that. As well as I also think that a video creative or interactive creative would be super beneficial because there you'll do a standard TVC because your company would definitely have a TVC ready from your side. You can just add a layer of rich media creative to give more information about the product of your company. So definitely for niche products, you can leverage rich media, and it makes sense because your target audience is very specific, and rich media can be a little bit expensive than the static creative, but if you have the right audience, why not spend it on the right audience?
Right, right. So we get actually we have another question. In the context of retail business, ensure the traceability of sales and footfall generated from rich media campaign. Mohammad Ali Sul Islam is the yeah he's actually that's the
Yeah,
question from him.
it's a great question. I believe that was a great challenge few years back, where you do a lot of online campaigns, but your product is actually sold in a store. So tracking of uh, this tracking of online to offline or offline to online, this was not possible. But there are few companies in the market who are making a progress in terms of tracking online, offline to online um, measurement. So this is completely different. You know, it's not Celtra's expertise. I would say this comes under the verification or the conversion partner, like you have double verify, or you have Moat or IS or Nielsen platform, where you are able to use pixel from that those kind of platforms and use it in Celtra platform so that you can track it. So this is expertise of attribution platform, I would say, and there are few other partners. Actually, there are a few companies who are actually able to crack this, where if a user sees the ad online, and if the same user goes to a store to buy the product, they can actually track online to offline attribution.
Right, right. So that's all from the question chat box.
Okay, fantastic. So moving on to the DCO part, I would like to show you the context, and what's happening here is that, because I'm not able to speak with the video because there's a music in the background. But essentially what's happening is that they are trying to create one master creative and linking to a feed. So this actually looks like the end output. If you look closely, what's happening is this is the same creative with a different background image, with a different headline and a different call to action. The structure of the creative remains the same, meaning that this is coming from one master creative, and all the different variants of this creative is coming from this spreadsheet. If you notice it very closely, what's happening here is that it has all the different background images which you can drag and drop in this sheet, which is exactly like an Excel sheet. And you have different call to action. You can see the column of the call to action here. There's copy, which is basically the headline, and the placement name, which is basically different channels that you want to target. Here's the most important piece for dynamic creative, where the system is allowing you to set the conditions. If you look at the conditions here, there are different level of conditions like date, time of the week, and time of the day. For example, I'll give you a quick example. If you want to create a movie ad, for example, and if you want to release that movie, the movie is releasing in 7 days, for example. And if you want to create that excitement, like 7 days to go, 6 days to go, 5 days to go, 4 days to go, you don't have to actually produce this creatives separately. You can set the conditions by date and time. This date I want to show this message, and the next day I want to show a different message. You can set that. There's a condition for country and state also. For example, if you're running a creative for different state and the messaging is different, you can dynamically change that. You don't need to produce that manually. Remember, we're talking about scalability here. We're trying to bring in efficiency here, making sure that the right audience sees the right content. There's also temperature. There's also weather also. Imagine if you're doing a coffee ad, like a Nescafe ad, and if you're not changing the creative from hot coffee to cold coffee, depending upon the weather in Bangladesh, yes, you can do that. Put that condition in that, and the ad will automatically change from cold coffee to hot coffee. But you are not actually producing in this different creatives. You are just producing one creative and dynamically changing the content of the creative. So this is how a master creative looks like. You have different components. You see the logo, there's a background, there's a call to action. All this can be dynamically changed. A quick example here, you see that different headlines, different background images, different call to action. You just make permutation and combination and produce all the different creatives for your audience. And if you just want to add more sizes in there, you don't need to create it again. You can add one more size and it creates, spits out all the different creatives for different sizes. Finally, I would like to show you some examples of the DCO campaign that happened globally with Celtra. I would like to start first of all with one of the Indonesia campaign from Unilever. So what they did was they are doing a video creative here, but they're actually targeting four different audiences: young professionals, hijab wearers, sport lovers, and art art lovers. So they four different kind of audiences. But they are not actually producing four different creatives for this, but they want the messaging to be specific to a specific user. So what they did is basically at the end of the creative, they changed the call to action. They changed the end screen of the creative. This is how they do is basically they break out the creative into a template where they have the branding message, they have the video asset, they have the messaging and the call to action. The video asset is run through a feed. You can automatically change it when you target to a particular audience, as well as the messaging and the call to action changes. So with the one video creative, you're actually producing four creatives, and you can scale this. There's no limit in terms of how you scale the number of creatives. Another example for one of our clients, Uber, they are using us for a DCO. They are using us for purely performance marketing in terms of installing the app, and they are you can look at the left side. They're just trying different creatives, different headlines as well different images for their creatives. And what they are doing is A/B testing for the creative. If you look at the creative on the left for the Uber Eats app, they have the audience, they have the data in terms of who loves what kind of products. So if you look at the left, they're having different images like burger, donuts, and fruits, and they run this test and see which audience is resonating with what kind of headline and the creative. So they get more data about the audience. So they dynamically change the creative day based on the preference of the audience and get more conversion from the Uber Eats apps. Another client of ours, Facebook, they also use us for DCO campaigns for creating new logins on the Facebook. They use it at the lower funnel. So now they're not doing branding message, they're doing pure performance marketing using Celtra. And what they're doing is basically they're using different kind of headlines and messages to ask the user to create a Facebook login. For example, if you look at this, find popular events near you. They are interested in users who are actually interested in going to different events. Discover groups that will share interest, support causes. If like fundraising thing that's interesting you, they target those kind of audience with Facebook. Or in general, catch up with friends and family. So this is like a general ad. So they're not actually creating four separate ads here. They're only doing one ad, but they're dynamically changing to different audience based on their interest. That's it from my end. So guys, today I covered static versus rich media creative. I talked a bit about Centra platform. I went through our ad products and formats that we offer. Also the banner feature, which is specific for Bangladesh, as well as we went through some TCU example. I showed you how you can quickly create and scale the rich media creatives based on your audience. So if you want to create more creatives, target your specific audience, Centra is here to help you. That's it from my end.
Great, great. Thank you, Nanesh. Uh, anyone have any other question to Nanesh? I think we can actually, Piyash bhai, you can take over.
Uh, I think Kanunbai has some question.
No, it's okay, it's okay. We'll do that later. Please,
Okay.
and
Okay, let me share my screen then. So, can you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Wonderful. So basically, this is not a presentation. I would like to share a few of our experiences with Rich Media. Well, just a minute, I need to start. Sorry, in fact. Okay, so this is me, Dr. Sultan Piyash. I do look after Cosmodo Digital's business. This is not a formal presentation. It was a very detailed brief about Rich Media campaign, how we can use it, that, and how we can manage it, and how we can optimize our advertisement with that. So, I'll just share a few of our experiences. So, did you participate a poll? We actually shoot it once we started the webinar. So, uh, yeah. So, okay. We did an internal survey inside Pragmalo that is on actually to have an idea on how our readers are taking our ad placements. So we could understand a good portion of from that survey. We could understand a good portion of our readers do not like ads. Like you can see 48% of our readers don't want ads at all. Okay, and 39% readers are, actually they understand the reality that showing advertisement is a reality for a publisher. So they actually they are comfortable with ad light, and 13% of our readers are actually not bothered about advertisement. So they don't actually care whether there is ads or there is ad light or there is no ad. So that's actually an observation. Since readers are in top priority, so we always try to prioritize them first. So their comfortability is actually our basic, and we actually try to enhance their readers' comfortability at topmost everything. So then we tried out. We actually thought how we can actually increase the comfortability of readers. We ad like model, how we can minimize that. And another question is, yeah, so our understanding was we need to display less ads. Okay, so then we had an internal discussion how we. So there are some downsides about ad heavy sites that you all know. Then actually, okay, so that's the easy solution. That's an easy solution that less ad to display that anybody can suggest. But so we need to reach a certain target in revenue. So if we just lower the number of display ads, then what can be the alternative? Okay, then can we increase the price? So the higher RPM can solve the problem, right? If we lessen our quantity of advertisement. So so higher rate can solve the problem? I think it's not because the market is already very competitive and it's not very easy for us actually to have the price in this good way out for us was optimizing every impression. So that's what rich media advertisement actually came relevant to us. So then, okay, so our rich media journey was we actually started the journey in 2015 with a very small scale, and you can see last year in 2019 it actually hiked up, and you can see two lines. So the top line is ad revenue, the percentage of ad revenue in comparing of our whole advertising revenue. This is actually the percentage comes from rich media for us as a publisher, and the lower portion is the percentage of inventory. So you can see in 2019 we had a hike in that because we actually partnered few of our rich media partners. At Play is one of them, and so many. So then you can see the curve is even flatter in inventory, but the curve is up. The curve is sharp in ad revenue. That means we are experiencing higher ad revenue from even from lower inventory. So that time we realized that yes, rich media can be a good solution for us in solving actually this problem. I mean, showing low ads and getting a higher revenue. Okay, so just we experimented many of rich media ads from our platform. So there are few actually. So page takeover is very popular in our site. When it comes interactive, you can see one Robbie campaign we ran a few months back, and it was really interesting. And the ROI we get was actually surprising for us to us as well. Then then we go for Steambox, we go for page takeover gamification, another Robbie gamification. So people actually love to play in advertisement space as well. So we're taking the help of HTML5, even in the banner ad also. So and you can imagine the staying time and also the interaction was a few times higher compared to regular banner advertisement. And also recently we launched this 3D cube and the interaction. So Interscholar is now very popular. Is doing very good in designing and serving in the spatial ads. So we have some partnership projects as well. So then, okay, so that's the result actually. I can so sorry. Can I end the poll? I cannot see my screen.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, just a minute. Okay. So here you can see some result from our from few of our campaign which actually went from our website. So I'm just bringing here 4 of our top rich media models. So first of all, the page takeover gamification. So we did I think more than 100 projects on gamification in HTML5 banner through rich media advertisement technology, and we got enormous results. So average CTR of the campaign was 3.72%, and viewability was 100%. For page takeover, interactive page takeover that I actually showed earlier, one car game that is one car parking campaign for Robbie. And average CTR of all of our takeover interactive was 2.89%, and viewability is again 100%. And for Steamit, the average CTR is is above 1%, and viewability is 100%. For 3D Cube is again the CTR is above 1%, and viewability is 93%. So I just want to mention for Google, actually for Google Display Network, the standard CTR average CTR is 0.46%, and viewability is 68%. So if you consider the standard banner ads with this sort of rich media banner ads, you can find the the effectiveness or the ROI of your campaign or any rich media campaign. This is actually our own experience. I believe it varies from platform to platform, and you can even get even better result from your campaign in some different platforms. But this is a summary of all the rich media campaign we ran over the last 1 year. So that's how. That's the important thing is. So for a publisher like us, our customers, our clients are happy because they are getting better CTR, and we are also happy because we are earning more with equal inventory size. So that's actually somehow solved our problem. There was we actually the lesson or advertisement that came from our readers. So, so that's all from me. This I actually told it was not a formal presentation. It was actually it's just our experience and how we can see the rich media, or how we can how we can see our clients are serving as to rich media, and how they are actually experiencing their CTR. So yeah, there are some downsides, or even I have some questions to Nine as well, that sometimes our clients actually say they're not convinced about that. They sometimes tell that okay, for each media actually higher bandwidth or higher mobile handset, higher required mobile handset is required. So we don't actually know whether it is true or not, but some of our clients actually thinks that in Bangladesh, in a country like Bangladesh, where bandwidth is a problem, so the viewability actually decreases. But we can see the viewability as I showed for certain rich media design or creatives, we can handle the the viewability at least. So when we get almost 100% viewability, then you can say that yes, this sort of rich media is being served. So from our end, we can say that yes, somehow it's being served well, but we don't know actually in detail. So Ninus can probably help us, and Kaimun and all others if you have. So I didn't go through any presentation, or I didn't have anything listed in my mind. Rather, I would like to answer if you have any question particular to me. So yeah, over to you.
Yeah, in terms of the loading of the rich media ad, it is definitely a big point for us in APAC at least. Like my counterparts in the UK or in the US, they never have this question. None of their partners ask this question, and none of the customer success guys raise this question. But it's our day-to-day life here in APAC, and most of the markets are emerging markets, and bandwidth can be difficult. Like certain parts of India, it's difficult. Bangladesh can be difficult. Vietnam can be difficult. Indonesia is difficult. Certain part of Malaysia, Cambodia. So if you look at it in a nutshell, this is our day-to-day problem, that the bandwidth can be an issue. Also, the quality of the handset can be an issue, and that's why we specifically launched this new ad format, which is banner light, meant for these markets where it can be difficulty in terms of loading the rich media ads. So this gives you a potential of doing a very high engaging rich media creatives. You can't go up to like a 360-degree video or a very complex rich media, but it gives you an above average or a decent rich media creative, and it can help your load ads load faster, more than 20%. So if your viewability is 80% somewhere, it can help you reach 100 in terms of that product. So that is a new product that we are currently testing. I have already tested that in India as well as Indonesia, and I see fantastic results over there. And I'm hoping that we're gonna launch this test with Ashley also, so that we can prove that this point of loading issue of the ad for rich media is no more a problem for Bangladesh in future.
And also last 2 points. So one is I want to point out one of my observations from our clients. So basically, actually our inventory is mobile driven. Right? For us, it's more than 80% of our audience coming from mobile. But when our client actually develop an ad or creative, they actually see it from desktop. So, so it's more sometimes it's very amazing. It's very wonderful. The design is so fantastic in the desktop, but it probably not match properly with mobile. So my one of my suggestions to our clients will be but it's actually we are in a market. It's mobile driven. So whenever we develop something, one creative or whatever, so we need to keep the mobile thing in mind. This is number one. Second is possibly I missed one point. So this is not about the viewability actually only. So for example, in our site, when you see one one rich media advertisement, okay, for in currently in all of every of our page contains 6 ads. Okay, so sometimes even though you actually pass through, it may not grab your attention. But rich media is such a thing. It will actually grab your attention. So viewability will be 100% for both, like for that standard ad banner ad and the for the rich media ad. But probably it will be more attractive, and I think the viewers won't miss it. So that's another point. Actually, it may not come from our analytics, but probably a psychological analytics which we should also consider from as a reader. Yeah.
Yeah, it's also trackable from central platform. For a publisher, it may not be trackable, but the ad is posted on the central platform.
Yeah.
So this is what I was talking about. Viability will be 100% for a static and rich media, but the rich media creative will give you more metrics like where the user touched, what kind of components that interact from one side to other, what level of creatives, what level of games that they play, and what all interactions they take with the creative. So that's what we call as engagement or the engagement rate, which is beyond impressions and clicks, basically. So it's an engagement rate metric which is not available in the static rate. And also to answer your first part of the question where you talked about the mobile first, definitely in APAC it's all mobile first. We don't really get high performance in terms of desktop. As you see, an 80% to 90% mobile heavy is all the markets, the story of all the markets in APAC. And if you look at my presentation, you will always have a QR code for all the creative that we share. So whatever we produce, whatever in the platform also, we have a QR code there. So you can actually look when you're producing the creative, you can scan that QR code and see how the experience looks on mobile. So I would say that we are 100% mobile, and mobile is the way where people actually interact with the ad. Desktop inventory is low, as well as the engagement rates that we see on desktop is lower. So definitely mobile is the way to go forward.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So
Currently,
for
sorry.
so do you think the standard banner then is useless, or what do you think? I mean, should brands by default consider rich media creatives for any campaign they're planning, or do you think it works particularly well in certain types of campaigns?
See, go on.
Go, please.
Yeah. So static ads are useful, and rich media is also useful. It really depends upon what kind of campaigns you're trying to run. For example, if you're trying to create a high impact with the audience, where if you're launching a new product, or if you're trying to make impact in the market, if you want to make a buzz in the market, and if you want people to remember something, very, very good. And if if you're a mature brand and you already have loyalty or you're doing what for performance, for example, if you're Nike, for example, and if you're gonna do a sales, you know that Nike shoes is gonna sell, and I have all the audience set who are interested in my shoes, and I want to run an offer for 10% discount. I can do a static ad for that thing where it's just about clicking on the ad and going to Nike website and publishing that. So you really don't need to do a heavyweight media ad for that. So I would say it depends upon the objective of the campaign and what you're trying to do. Again, if you want to make real high buzz and make a huge impact, rich media is the way to go. Performance marketing to the direct audience you're trying to target, and you already have the customers, you can still do it with static media because it's ROI, right? And ultimately, we're trying to grow business over here. Why not use the rich media creative, and why always use rich media? You can use that instead.
Cool. Great. That's a good way to assess it. Jonathan, you had anything to add to that?
I think actually Nine answered all the points, but I think we need to save our bullet for some time. Okay, so regularly it's regular webinar, and the safe bullet is for each media campaign. Whenever you want to emphasize on one particular campaign, as Nine mentioned, the product launching or something very good offer, then you can definitely you want to show something different. Whenever if the rich media is normal, then it will be normal. So you need to break the chatter. So rich media is a weapon for you to break the chatter. So in the regular banner advertisement, it actually then grab additional attention. Otherwise, it will get lost, and also cost issue and some other issue are issue. And also, rich media properties are not fit for all the campaign and all the offers. So it's probably not actually relevant anymore. So that's my point. So we need to save our bullet for each data.
Right, so I'd like to interrupt. So we are pouring with questions. One question is to Piyash Bhai. It's from Masuk Rahman. My question to Piyash Bhai, will you define viewability? What is the parameter of viewability?
Okay. So viewability is okay. For example, if you log into or if you view a particular page, probably there are 5 or 6 ads on the page, right? So the page, actually ad loaded. So even though if you skip the page after some time, like after watching 20% of the page, probably the below ads may not you may not view the below ads, but sometimes it actually counted as viewability. So viewability is thing that is if you go through the page and if you can see the ads, so that is viewability. Sometimes for internet problem or so for many other problems, the news actually loaded before the ad loads. So for example, the top banner. So if you go get into news, then you may scroll once, but even though the ad has not yet appeared, in that case the view it lost the viewability. So is that clear? So
Masuk Bhai, I turned on your, I actually enabled your microphone. You can speak as well. Masuk Bhai, that answers your question?
Yeah, I got it.
okay.
Thank you, Bhai.
Yeah.
So, here you have some other questions as well. Um, that's from Mr. Tanvir Naik. Hi, Piyash Bhai, can you please share the cost idea of rich media ads in Prothomalo compared to regular digital ads? I think, yeah, we can discuss, direct.
It actually depends, but yeah, it depends on the platform and actually, so each media campaign can be of different levels, right? So it varies from platform to platform. It varies from the developers to developers, and even start big. So yeah, it's a bit higher. The price is a bit higher than the regular price, but this media has some definite even other benefit as well. For example, if you have like if you run an e-commerce site and if you have 5 offers, So you need to deliver 5 creative in static actually communicate all your 5 offers. But in rich media, it's possible to integrate all 5 URLs or landing pages in a single, the creative.
Creative.
That's another way you can optimize. So if you compare actually apple to apple, then yes, it's a bit higher than regular advertisement because it's actually it's actually counted plus on top of the regular advertisement for creative and serving. So
Right.
the additional prices depend on from where you are actually getting the service in creating and serving the advertisement. So that's the plus. Otherwise, it's the base is same, similar, the regular price, and then actually the additional ads. Yeah.
So the next question is to Ninesh. It's from Abdullah Mamun. Hi Mamun bhai. He's from British Council. Hi all, this is Mamun from British Council. Lovely tool and beautifully explained, Ninesh. My question is around publishing. Can you automate the publishing of the creative from Saltra? If yes, can we send automated remarketing ads based on the prospects actions on earlier ads? I think it's a very good question.
Yeah, it's a fantastic question. I read that question, and to 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 take a step back, like Centra is all about scalability and bringing efficiency. So we really want to automate, and you can automate the publishing from Celtra. For example, whatever you produce in Celtra, you can pull that to a third party tag. And if you create 50 different kind of variations, you can pull a one tag. Remember, this is dynamic creative. So it's only one tag that is handled by a publisher or any of our media partners. So behind that one tag, all the 50 creative runs. One tag, if you serve in one country or one state in Bangladesh, it will show a different headline. Another state can show a different headline. So it's all automated. So yes, it's all automated. And what if you have the audiences? In DCO, you activate your audiences. You can use a DMP, you can use a DSP to save your audience, and all the audience that interact to an ad, you can also save those audience in your DMP or DSPs and activate that on Celtra and automatically change the ad behind the tag to show a remarketing tag. So yes, you can definitely automate because on the media side, you are not changing the tags automatically, change the creative itself.
Right. I would just like to add, we are very much capable actually storing the audience data and all that. So yeah. Right. So yeah, I think that answers your question, Abdullah bhai. You can speak as well.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Thanks.
Thanks, Mom.
Great, great. So the next question is from Naim Bhai again. Naim Bhai said, hello, this is Naim from PSRM. The cost of rich media ad placement in Prothomalo is different than static ad placements. I think it's the question is for Piyush Bhai to answer.
Oh, okay. So I probably already answered the question. So there is actually the rich media needs actually special treatment beyond the regular advertisement. It's from developing the ad, the creative, and also serving. So for we actually add that actually markup for in pricing the rich media ads on top of our regular advertisement. So it's a bit higher, but you are getting additional benefit as well. So it's all good.
Right. I think we have lost Naim Bhai. He's somehow disconnected. So yeah. I think that answers his question. So the next question is from Tanvir Asan. He's our former colleague. Hello, this is Tanvir Asan, working at Purple Patch. Nice to see you, Kaimun Anisar and Owen Bhai. There is no doubt Selfra is one of the best CMP platforms. Sometimes you may get very high CTR, eCPM too. My questions are how will you enrich limited rich media programmatic inventory, particularly in local publishers to ad play? And number second is which type of rich media ad formats are more suitable for Bangladesh market? To Ninesh. And what are the thoughts about autoplay audio in innovative ad at Javed Sultan Piyashbek? Uh, I think our MD can actually address this one.
Okay.
How will it enrich limited rich media programmatic inventory, particularly in local publishers? So I'd just like to start the answering. So I think the programmatic inventory in local publishers is not very limited. It's quite sufficient at this moment, and most of the ad formats are actually supported to run programmatically. So we can run rich media campaigns programmatically, as Nangin mentioned. Other than two ad formats, most of the ad formats are supported to run programmatically. Uh, I think yes. Piers, would you like to add something else in regard to programmatic?
Second question was about audible ads, right? So, and auto-play audible ads. So, well, we don't actually encourage auto-play audible ads from our platform because sometimes actually our readers don't like it. So, it annoys some readers as well. So, yeah, we actually Facebook actually helped us learn auto-play video. So it's now normal for us. So yeah, we are actually used to using autoplay video ads or in our website. But for autoplay audio, it's a bit difficult because sometimes we get objections from our readers. So yes, advertisement is not only for actually grabbing attention, but also it needs to be loved, right? So people need to love it. We cannot one any advertisement which may annoy the audience cannot be a good
Right,
advertisement,
right.
right?
I
So,
think according to the guideline, it's also recommended to actually not recommended. It's strictly prohibited to run the ad campaigns with the sounds on, noise on.
right. That's okay. So
Yeah,
we always try not to annoy the audience, rather to be loved by them. So there is
correct.
our audience can be annoyed. So we actually always try to discourage this sort of audience. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for your question.
Right. I think the second question is for Ninesh. Which rich media ad formats are most suitable for Bangladesh market at Selfront? Uh, I think yes, we can also address this one as well.
Yeah. Hey Tanvir, nice to see you ping. Uh, to answer this question, what type of rich media ad format is suitable for Bangladesh market? There is no restriction for what kind of rich media you can do. For a market, the restriction is more of the internet connectivity. I answered that. So it's more of a product and not format. So product, you can use the banner light or the fast loading product for the Bangladesh market. And in terms of the rich media format, you're open to use any of the rich media format that you want. It's largely in terms of availability. For a publisher, if they have the scholar activated, you can use those kind of formats. And it's also dependent on the brand also, what kind of format really works for a particular brand in terms of what media they use. So it's a very open-ended question. I can say from Celtra, there is no restriction in what kind of rich media formats you want to use. You can try all of them and see, test, and learn what works for you and your brand. And in terms of the product, you can use the fast loading ad to increase the load rate and availability for multi-platform publishers.
So, all right, I have a question for Kaimun Bhai. Is Kaimun Bhai here?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes.
Oh, Kaimun Bhai, first of all, I want to pay you a thanks because I think you can remember last year we had a lunch, right? You gave me a lunch, and on that particular meeting, I actually got convinced more on rich media. Okay, so before that, I was not very much convinced, and this is why we got a high in 2019. Thank you so very much for this. And also, I have a question for you. That is, okay, as I say, currently we have actually rich media campaign actually takes 20% of our total inventory, and most of them is paid takeover. So, how do you see the whole market is since you actually see more publishers and also advertisers? So, as a whole. market. What do you think? What is the percentage of rich media advertisement if you compare with the whole inventory size? So yeah, just any guess on that.
In terms of the whole inventory, I would say not more than 25%.
Okay.
Um, it also has a tie back to question asked by Samir. I think there is I don't know if you will call it a confusion or maybe lack of knowledge, but I think there is a conception in the market that if you want to run a rich media campaign with a publisher, it is not possible programmatically. You have to reach out to publisher directly and run a rich media campaign. We have received this feedback from multiple sources, from our advertisers and others, and I think that sort of, in some cases, holds them back to some extent of from doing a rich media campaign because they might not want to run a rich media campaign with one publisher. I mean, Prothomalo is an exception because you have almost more than 50% of the inventory in the local market. So other than that, I think that's also why that question came up, that limited programmatic inventory on rich media. So I think if that conception was addressed, we would see a lot more programmatic rich media campaigns. I think right now programmatic rich media campaigns is very, very limited. It's all direct publisher campaigns. So this adds overhead to brand, agency, us, as well as publisher, because manually putting in this, that, and all that. So programmatic campaigns and rich media campaigns are more encouraged. I mean, you interact with your advertisers as well. I think that 25% can go up even further. Because no doubt local publishers and business is being led by all news portals. But I think you will also agree that there's ad clutter. Rich media is the way forward, like you said, but to get more campaigns, to even encourage the, let's say, the smaller and the medium brands to come in and experiment with rich media, I think that programmatic access and the programmatic channel for running rich media campaigns should be encouraged. And also have another question. It's sort of related. I mean, for you, Ted. So, you can be honest here. So, when you do a rich media campaign with a brand, how many times do a brand come to you and say, "Give us the creative concept," and how many times do they come and give you the creative concept?
Okay, so I want to answer it alternatively. So we believe actually we are communication partner. So sometimes we are being treated as media only. So we get the campaign when everything is finalized, and they actually get run the campaign. But we don't get the opportunity to discuss it even before when it is in conception level or when they actually plan the campaign. So whenever we get the chance, we actually request them. Then yes, we can probably help you out in some other ways as well. So in that case, actually, we can give them the idea. Otherwise, not much, not much. So actually, sometimes we have some very good partners as well, very good brands, very good agents, very good agencies who have very good relationship with us, business understanding. So in that case, yes, we actually we try to mutually develop any campaign, and we actually share all of our stands, all of our experiences, and then we actually want or try to make it even larger together. So to be very honest, yeah, we don't get this opportunity much, but we believe if we can be part of even in the conception level, yes, probably better result can come. And brands, to answer your question,
That's another observation from my end because rich media campaign is, I mean, not about just like, okay, fine, I have a static image, I cut it and then I run an ad. There is a certain level of planning which needs to go behind it. And what I've seen is that, we follow trends in the market. So when parallax campaigns are popular, all brands are doing parallax campaigns. When
Yeah.
3D campaigns are popular, everybody is doing 3D campaigns. When interactive video campaigns are popular, everybody is doing 3D. So what I'm trying to say is that if we also had planning or opportunities with brands, or we participated in ideation sessions with them, a lot more ideas would come because a lot of them do not even know about all the ad formats that are available.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we would start unlocking opportunities. Then the brands know their products the best. We don't, right? We just know our ad formats. So when we can connect their ideas with our ad formats, I think we will see a lot more campaigns in which media.
Yeah, that's one brilliant point you missed. That is, actually, our clients or the marketeers are not very much aware of all the opportunities you can give to them in rich media platform. This is very true. Whenever we actually run a new campaign, a new rich media format, then we get few calls from our beloved clients that how you ran the campaign. I have a campaign. Can you adapt this? But if you can, if we would have the opportunity to show all the, all our brilliant products together to our clients, then probably it could help them better to make it even better. Yeah. So it's a good observation.
Great.
So when sorry, yes, go ahead.
No, I mean, I think we have covered a great deal today. It was very interesting, at least from my end. Are there any more questions?
Yes, there is one final question. It's from Mahfuz Bhai. So Mahfuz Bhai works for MBA Webmaker. So Mahfuz Bhai shared, if static interstitial ad get 100% viewability and high CTR, why to invest higher cost to get same result?
For me,
If static, actually live question. If static interstitial ads get 100% viewability and high CTR, why to invest higher cost to get same result?
open-ended question.
First of all, I think the static interstitial ads are not cheap. So that's my first observation. And yes, Naresh, go ahead.
Yeah, so it depends upon the objective, what you really want to achieve. If CTR is something that you want, and if the interstitial creative gives you more CTR, and if the rich media creative is giving you less CTR, and CTR is your primary KPI, you should definitely invest it in interstitial. There's no doubt. If you want to see a particular metric, then you just work on different formats and then move ahead and do a interstitial. But again, it comes down to the objective, right? If you want CTR, if your objective is CTR, which is clicks, is that your agenda? Or landings, is that your agenda? Or if you want to create a loyal customer for a brand, is that your agenda? Or if you want a brand to be remained in the minds of the user for a longer time, if that is your KPI, then it's more of a rich media thing. Getting your message out through static interstitial and getting clicks out of it, if that's your KPI, you can go static. If you want to do clicks as well as create a strong brand impact and make them remember the creative, you can go for a rich media interstitial. It all boils down to what you really want to achieve. And as a marketer, you are free to optimize your campaigns. Like if you think that it can give you what you are looking for your brand or your campaign, go for it.
I just want to ask interest here. Hi, Mahfuz Bhai. So, we actually asked a few of our clients just last year that can you recall some of our ads we served in our ad? Then we found that the recallability in very creative interstitials and the rich media campaigns. So just I just actually answered it perfectly. I just want to add one point is there is yes definitely actually rich media is not probably for all the campaigns. It's not necessarily needed. Probably normal interstitial static and interstitial can solve your problem in most of the cases. But if you want to create some spatial top of mind, position in top of mind, probably it can help you because sometimes you can the creativity can break that clutter, right? In that case, the recallability or creating top of mind, it can help in creating top of mind. So yeah.
Right. So I think we have lost Mahfouz Bhai as well. He's not in the attendees list anymore. So I would have like unmuted him. And yes. So I think we actually extended our webinar, and I'd like to just quickly go through my deck. So yes, if you allow. So I think that's me. Everyone can see my screen. Great, great. So I think most of my deck actually been covered by Ninesh and Pi. So I actually wanted to share some creative inspirations from our previous experiences and from Seltra. So some of the capabilities of rich media creatives are one is attention, the second one is engagement, and third one is precision marketing. These three actually capabilities I'd like to showcase with some of my sample creatives or examples. So the first one is yes, the first one is it's a parallax campaign. So it's a very good ad format for awareness building or like getting the attentions. So beautiful eye-catchy format. I just like to play the creative. So yes, this is what we have done for Grameenphone last year, and it was quite successful campaign. So I think we ran before with Prothomol as well. So the next one. So this is another creative we actually want to showcase. It's a some sort of a conversion campaign. It's a video creative with some shoppable feature. So let us just play it. So there is a video playing at the background, and there are different products are showcasing in the format. So yes, and the thing Piyash Bhai was mentioning that like there is a provision to incorporate several URLs in the same creative. So that's a showcase for that one. So that's another interesting format. It's 360 video format, interactive video. So it's a very good ad format for automotive industry, travel, property. So developer companies can actually showcase their through these kind of formats. It's very good for engagement. So the precision marketing or DCO, I think I'm sure Ninesh has already covered elaborately on this topic. So you need to actually create audience data in order to do the precision marketing. Previous campaigns data to find out your audience, right audience. So we segmented three audiences for this one: low data users, medium data users, and high data users. Whoever falls into which category, he will be or she will be actually seeing this kind of creative, particular creative for him or herself precisely. The feed editor, Nanesh also mentioned or covered. So that's a third party or some condition implemented in the creatives. If you want, can just run it quickly. So this one we actually created for our World Cup during the World Cup. So whenever the matches, new matches actually comes up, the creative automatically changes. So there was a API integration with third-party API. So that's the another format. So I think that's all I actually wanted to demonstrate. Right, right. So we actually plan to do this webinar for an hour. I think we have already passed 1 hour limit, and it was very, very interactive, right?
Right. So unless there's any questions, I think we're gonna say good night to everyone.
Yes, I think we don't have any other question. I think Piyash bhai, are you there? I think he is having an important call, so that's fine. Nilesh, thanks very much. Thanks very much for your time, and thanks Piyash bhai, although you are not here.
I'm here. I'm here.
Right, right. So we had a very good session, right?
Thank you
Piyash
so
bhai?
very much for inviting me to this session. But
Thanks for joining.
yeah,
Our-
we planned it. We planned it even before, like right now, Mumbai. So we planned it even months back. But at last, for this COVID, we actually all got together in this web platform. But probably yes, we should continue it. Yeah.
Right,
Thank you
right.
everyone for joining. Thank you.
And
Thank
thanks guys for
you.
inviting me.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you, Nanesh.
Thanks.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Bye.